6:08, we'll call the work session to order. The Runnemede Board of Education meeting is called to order. Work session. The Board of Education is in compliance with Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of 1975 entitled the Open Public Meetings Act. The time, date, and location of this meeting was appropriately advertised by notifying the retrospect as well as posting notices in Federal Hall, Runnemede Post Office, Marybold School, Alliant Bingham School, Grace Downing School, and the Runnemede Public School District website. Roll call board members, please.
Ms. Adair,
On our way.
Ms. Beebe,
Here.
Mr. Buckheim, Ms. Davidson,
Here.
Ms. Farry,
On our way.
Ms. Panzarella,
Here.
Ms. Smith,
Here.
Ms. Chirillo,
Here.
Ms. Spalding.
Here. Also present, Mark Iannucci, Superintendent, Sean McCarron, Business Administrator, Supervisor of Curriculum and Instruction, and I see Mr. Bruner, Supervisor of Building Grounds. At this time, I believe Vice President Buckheim asked that we look at the video that the New Jersey School Board Association sent out before we review our regular meeting agenda, because our master board member, Naomi Davidson, is on the video representing Runnemede very well. She looks like a young chicken on this video too. What do you say?
And also, I just felt, as board members, I wanted you to hear what one of our United States Senators from New Jersey feels about board members. This was presented at our delegate assembly meeting back in November. It makes you realize the amount of work and effort you put into your position, and he appreciates it.
Video is 4 minutes.
All right.
I'm finding this is my first workshop.
How are you finding it?
It's exciting, it's great, learning a lot.
This is incredible. To be honest, it's not what I expected. I expected to come and there'd be tops 1,000 people, maybe a dozen vendors. And when I got here, I realized there was a little under 5,000 and a complete hall full of vendors. It really surprised me. Not to mention the quality of the training.
Runnemede was formed in 1992 with the basic concept of helping the school district solve the issues that revolve around technology. We are an educational technology company. We've been very successful with our STEM programs. We do a lot of professional development.
Stop the video real quick.
We're coming for technology, looking at how a lot of other districts have incorporated technology in the classrooms. We just got Wi-Fi in every building last year, and teachers are very excited.
Find out how I can
Hey, there you go. Thank you.
Sorry, Mr. Buckheim.
That's okay.
Thank you, Dr. Feinstein, and all the members of the New Jersey School Board Association. Congratulations on 100 years of progress in educational excellence in New Jersey students. I'm proud to have been a part of that progress. I began my public service career 40 years ago as a school board member in Union City. I didn't know it then, but I was starting my career in one of the most challenging public offices a person can hold. To serve as a public Board of Education member is to take on the responsibility of providing for the future of a generation of students in the face of mounting fiduciary pressures of school districts. It is to meet the many needs of every student who walks into a classroom, from the hiring of dedicated, compassionate, and effective teachers to providing the resources to meet every child's individualized education plan, to maintaining the integrity of buildings, and so many more details that are all a part of the mission to tap every student's God-given potential for their own personal fulfillment and for the benefit of the future of our nation. You, my friends, are the guardians of that faith as members of your local school boards. My own life experience taught me at an early age the difficulties of balancing fiscal responsibility and providing a high-quality public education. When I was in high school, my grades and my work qualified me to be in the high school senior honors program. But my family didn't have the $200 to buy the books I needed for the classes. The answer from the school was, no money, no honors program. I couldn't understand how, if I had the ability and the grades, that I could actually be barred from the honors program because I couldn't afford it. And I was not alone. I knew other students were in the same situation, plenty of potential, but not much money. I knew that the change we needed would only come from our local school board. That's why I petitioned the school board to change its policy. The board ultimately removed this financial barrier that kept students from reaching their full potential. And I was later elected to that same school board just a few months later. My experience has taught me that every school board member has the power to make a difference in every student's life, power to give them hope and a chance at a good start at a better life. And I know that the financial pressures on school districts have not gotten any easier during the last 40 years. You have taken on the challenge to be the guardians of the fate of our future generations and our nation, and I thank you for all of your dedicated service. The decisions you make impact every student in your districts. They are decisions that help the kid from Montclair walk on the moon. They are the decisions that help a class clown from Lawrenceville become a comical pundit as the host of The Daily Show. They helped a young football player from Rancocas Valley Regional High School become a Super Bowl champion fullback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. It helped a girl from Bernardsville become one of the greatest actresses of our time. They are the decisions that helped a girl from Elizabeth become one of the most beloved authors of children's books. They are the decisions that helped a kid from Union City become chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. It all begins on the school board. How we level the playing field for every student, no matter their economic status, their race, religion, or gender. It helps us as a community and as a nation to put a premium on educational fairness, to not settle for mediocrity when it comes to educating our children. So the moral of the story is that nothing is more basic, as I found out when I was in high school, than the importance of access to the information we need, whether it's in a book, as it was when I was in school, or on the internet, as it is today. If you can't afford the book, or you can't afford access to the internet, then you can't get the information you need, and you can't compete with the rest of your classmates who just happen to be lucky enough to be able to afford it. It's up to every school board member to make sure that does not happen, to uphold the fundamental principle that basic educational values should not have anything to do with how much money a student has, and everything to do with fairness. It's up to all of you to put a premium on learning and intellect so that every child can reach their full potential, compete, get a good job, improve our economy, and build a better life for themselves and their families. And it all begins on the school board with all of you. Again, I'm sorry I could not be there in person to celebrate the centennial of the New Jersey School Board Association, but congratulations on a job well done, and keep up the good work. Thank you all very much.
Ms. Davidson, are you on the?
I think I am, but.
Yeah.
I love workshop. Every year they come up with new ideas, fresh ways for board members to learn more about their experiences as board members and be better educated.
You do a lot of learning here. Our professional development has to keep continuing, and you provide a lot of services here.
As an administrator, why do you come to workshops?
There's some excellent workshops here. It's also a time to get to know your board members even better.
Staff development, staff training, not only for school board members, but also administrators.
Things are constantly changing and updating in every facet of what we do and in every facet of what our children are learning in school.
I think it's terrific that I get to look into STEM, I get to look into art, I get a real deep understanding of the Common Core. And part
moves us toward making that possible, not just within a district or even within our state, but across states.
Having the educational leaders of the communities be able to set forth, this is a vision for where we want to take things.
The workshop programming represents an example of the type of partnership needed to achieve our goals of academic progress for all students.
I loved Dr. Severin's program on student achievement, obstacles or opportunities.
Flipper at the Beach, it was a flipped classroom, and it was great because you really get to talk to people that have done it.
Well, I've been to about 3 or 4 class sessions on school safety this year, and I found it very informative.
My favorite workshop, actually, is the school law update workshop. It's always entertaining, so it's one of the reasons I come here.
I went to the superintendent search yesterday, which is crucial for our district because we're looking for an interim superintendent.
I started going to some of the breakout sessions as well, just trying to get a flavor for some of the different committees that I'm on.
I really enjoy the fact that you can drop in on some of those open workshops that are happening in different areas, and you can stay as short or long as you want.
I think, the biggest thing that you can do for your board members is provide them good information, and they get good information here at workshop.
And what's the best part about workshop?
Well, to get together with everybody and all of the learning materials that they have to offer.
Workshop allows you that time to interact with other board members across the state, share ideas, find out what's going on in their district, and realize that really you're part of a much bigger picture.
To get down here and find out, what other districts are doing and learning from other districts is invaluable.
I get to mingle with other board members and hear from some experts, and then go back and report out to my board what I've learned for the members who weren't able to make it.
Thank you for caring, as I know you do, about the education of every child in our state.
We'll find it during the intermission break.
All right, that's great.
Very good.
It's horrible.
The only other thing that we had to do during our workshop is go through our agenda. So, at this time, I guess we'll start off with any of the reports. Just so you guys know, Dr. McCarron made little cheat sheets for us to get on to the board agendas. Yes, so we can put this on our fridge so we don't lose it or contact Dr. McCarron, like it says right there. So at this time, does anyone have any questions or comments on any of the reports? Superintendent's report, principal's report, nurses, building and grounds, and special education report?
I just have one question for Sean.
Sure.
Can you explain to us what the hour of code was during the week of December 8th?
Hour of Code is an online technology, and what they do is the students all work on coding, and it actually goes all the way from kindergarten through high school. So what we did was, across the district and across the state and country, they have what's called the Tower of Code, where they try to get as many students on, and you're building code. And in many cases, students learn the fact that code is how things operate from the computer system. A prime example is at the White House. They have 50 Christmas trees located in the White House. So one thing that we heard another district was doing, so we jumped on immediately, was you could actually code one of the trees for the lights as they come on, and you can actually pick a date and time that your code that you created would actually be seen at the White House for the people who were viewing the Christmas trees. Another thing was with Miss Wendt, they have something through the EIRC that she brings in when she works with teachers, and they're working on this in the upcoming month with what they call finches, which are these little robots. And the students are actually able to program the robots to do specific walks and movements and things like that. So it's showing students how things go from the computer to actually being played out.
Okay, that's great, thanks.
So we have the principal's reports, the nurses' reports, building grounds and special education reports. Any questions there?
I have a question on one of the principals' reports. Let me see, let me go back to it. I had planned on attending the holiday Jubilee performance.
Yes.
And it says on the 19th it's at 2:30, but I got an email, said there was a 9:30 and a 2:30.
I believe there's two performances for that. I'll
And-
double check my email.
Okay, and this is the reason why, my question is, because I wanted to attend it, can I attend the 9:30 session? I have something in the afternoon.
If it's still locked in for 9:30, that's Friday, correct?
There's one tomorrow as well at 2:30, at 2:15, at 2:30 at Downing.
I can't do
You
tomorrow,
can't do
because
tomorrow.
my wife
I'll,
plays.
let me double check, but I
Bring
know,
them.
because I forwarded you that email,
Yes,
so I will make
Yes.
sure that I,
okay,
I believe.
okay.
If you brought them, that might be entertainment on
Mhm.
both ends.
I can't, I don't have car seats
Oh,
in my
okay.
car, so I can't
Well, I'm
transport them.
sure if you asked your daughter, she'd switch cars with you.
Yeah.
We just want to see
He
you
does
twins.
not want to do that.
So you'll let Mr. Buckheim know about that, and just so for anyone else who's interested, tomorrow at 2:15 is Downing's, and Fridays is Bingham's.
2:15?
2:15 is like when they told us to arrive.
Okay.
It was- My son's in second grade. so.
Okay.
And there's also a presentation, I believe, and Bingham, correct, you saw some
In the morning?
I saw the practice, it's their author's chair, where they're doing their dream jobs with Miss Duncan's class.
That's at 9:30. Okay. Presentations for the third grade.
And what time is that?
9:30, I think.
Tomorrow?
Yeah.
And where would I?
And also Friday.
If you just go to the main office, they'll direct you up there.
9:30.
And what's it called again, that program?
That's author's chair.
Office chair. Okay.
Any other questions on reports? No? Anyone?
I
Okay.
did have one, just
Okay.
one single one on one of the nurses' reports.
Sure.
I know that the children have to be have to have immunizations before they come into school. I'm concerned that it's almost a new year, and there are several kids that still haven't had their reports in. Like, is that frequent? Does that happen frequently?
That happens
That they're
almost
still
every year.
permitted to attend?
And then we have a hard deadline for them to get those in. Push comes to shove, people find ways to have this.
I'm just concerned how
It's better.
okay.
The nurses monitor that on a monthly basis, right? Okay. Any other questions?
I just want to make two comments, but Nurse or Mrs. Beta aren't here, just a little information, exhibits we got as far as sleep deprivation among students, and also homework studies. I thought they were very informative, and I'm certainly going to share these with my neighborhood full of children. So, yes, I was very pleased to see this came forth for information for the nurses. So just wanted to say thank you to them, and to Mrs. Beta as well.
I'm sure Mr. Iannucci will pass that along in
Oh,
case the
sure.
nurses are not here this evening. All right, so we'll move along to, we'll go over other reports during the regular scheduled meeting. So I'm on page 4, which is property and transportation.
Sean, I just have a question concerning all these transportation charges. Is this going to be alleviated any by our new bus coming forth?
It depends on the number of students, who will be participating.
Okay.
And we need to see that we'll be able to accommodate that. In order to do that, you're also seeing a number of charges right now because we gave a hard deadline for all trips to be in.
Right.
So last month you saw all of the trips.
Yes.
And then this month you're seeing all of the transportation costs. One thing that we're looking at doing moving forward next year is when you approve the trip, you will be approving the transportation as well. And should the trip not be approved, we will simply cancel the transportation. But that way, it's all done in one shot and not two separate meetings
Okay.
to try and streamline the process.
Gotcha. So all these charges are coming forth forth to these bus companies this year?
Correct.
Any other questions under property and transportation? Okay, then we will go under personnel. There was two things added to, for some long-term substitutes covering maternity leaves.
I just have a question for number 2, with our employee going out for military leave. Is there any way when this employee returns that they can be honored for their service at a board meeting, just to invite them and their family to participate during a board meeting whenever they return? I think it'd be nice just to make a little accommodation for not only service to our children here, but service to our country. That'd be great. Okay. Thanks.
Any other questions? Finance, we will, professional development workshops, payment of bills, and then there's a whole list, 4 to 12 there. Any questions there?
Ms. Foley, can I give one comment regarding
Yes.
the ROD grants?
Yes,
Um,
where are we at? There,
For
number
the
9?
ROD grants, one thing that we were trying to do was to begin our ROD grant projects, which would be windows and roofing at the various schools, and also new exterior doors for ADA compliance at the buildings. We were hoping to start in the spring. Due to, we will be starting as of July 1 to make sure that all of the projects are included within the 15-16 budget. So as soon as the budget is approved, as a part of that budget, we'll be putting in all the capital projects. So as of right now, what we've been doing is we've been putting everything, we've been saving up our local share. But since it wasn't listed as a capital project for this budget currently, it becomes extremely difficult to begin it prior to it being board approved and the budget hearing taking place. So we are still moving forward as far as making sure everything is in order, so that way we can start exactly on July 1. And as soon as we have everything board approved for the budget, and we have our budget hearing, everything can be submitted to the state, so that way we can move ahead with that.
Is that gonna happen during the summer?
During the summer months, yes.
Just because it's, okay, all right. Does anybody have any questions for Dr. McCarron?
I have a question about that real quick. Do you think you'll be okay with getting that done between budget approval and July 1st?
Yes, because we already have a number of the pieces in order, so it's simply submitting it. And when we submit it after the budget hearing, it's simply, all we need at that point is showing the state and the SBA that we have the local share. That's all they want to see. Everything else will be done ahead of that, and that's why we're doing all these approvals now. So that way, we start seeing contractors coming out, so that way when our bids come in, everything will be in order.
And our local share is already in order.
Local share will be 100% in order in the next budget, which is why it becomes complicated if you can't show 100% of local share to even begin a part of like the windows of the project. You need 100% in order to begin for that.
So it links when the budget being approved.
Do other districts do it that way as well? Or they approve the budget being approved before they can start?
Yes. Had it been listed in last year's budget as a capital project, it was listed under supporting documentation, but not under a specific tab. So that's where it gets.
Is that why it was all delayed? Is that why we were?
That's why it'll be a July 1 start.
Right, weren't we having problems with ROD grant acceptance
Not
last
every,
year?
not everything, well, there's a separate round of grants which we've finalized, we'll
Yes.
be getting funds in.
Okay.
And then with this one, they broke the ROD grant apart
Okay.
because not everything was health and safety. Part of it was the kitchen, and when that wasn't approved, that's when we went with shared service with Black Horse Pike.
Okay.
It is good for the state, you said?
Yes, as well as the SDI. Whole other area. Yes. We have many contacts, so we're,
Okay, that's
we're
my next
optimistic.
question. Do you have your contact in case we get a little?
We have direct lines.
Gotcha.
There's that.
Thank you.
Okay. Any additional questions? If not, go ahead.
Quick question.
Go ahead.
On number 9, shared service agreement with Black Horse Pike Regional for maintenance services?
On an as needed
Okay.
basis. So if there's anything that comes up that we aren't able to handle in-house, or we might need additional support for, what that gives us is, if the board approves, it allows us to bring them in on an as-needed basis should something come up. So we might be fine when it comes to HVAC, but then when it comes to plumbing, we might bring them in instead of bringing in an outside person as a shared service since they have someone on staff.
Gotcha.
And are we financially responsible for that plumber coming from Black Horse Pike to service here? How do the finances work for that?
We pay hourly, just as we
Just
would
an hourly rate, okay.
just as we would an outside person. So they have an hourly rate for each of the services that they can provide.
Okay, but it's not an hourly rate during their workday, it's an hourly rate after their workday?
How they decide to do it, because it's through Black Horse Pike, so we would call them directly. And
Okay.
if they choose to send one, we would be billed through Black Horse Pike.
Gotcha, okay. I just don't want to be accused of being part of double dipping here. Someone's being paid to work.
That would be,
Okay.
they haven't worked out, but we
Okay.
would be on the
Bring out the case, okay.
up and up
All right.
with that.
Any other questions? If not, we'll look at curriculum.
I just have 2 questions under curriculum.
Yes.
Numbers 1 and 3. Do these 2 positions or educational upgrades, I guess, correlate with the staff members' current positions? Are they?
Well, one looks like it's just a course.
Yeah, it's a course.
Number 1, she's taking a course.
Okay.
Number 3 ties in with the online
Number
summer
4.
program.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what we did is we had people apply for the position. Since we're trying to do something to extend the Chromebook usage over the course of the
Oh,
summer
I think that's a good idea.
through a 10-week online summer program. I was really excited with what courses staff members had submitted to try and come up with. And then in addition to that, there's a few opportunities where we can sign students up for pre-made programs that are open to us, one being coding, like code.org. So in order, my concern though is we want to make sure that when we roll this out, it's as in line as possible and it's consistent straight across all of the courses that are being developed.
Okay.
So that's where that comes into play.
Okay, and do they also align with our core curriculum, these?
The Common Core standards, they will tie in with that, especially with
Okay.
literacy. But we also want to do something that will be engaging to students over the course of the summer.
Right.
And see if we see maybe, more growth, and it gives the students an opportunity to keep their Chromebooks over the course of the summer, instead of us storing them.
I know. Any other questions there? All right, policy and public relations. Looks like we have a new job description for a bus driver and Operation Footsteps. No need, any questions there?
Who is coordinating this Operation Footsteps? What's the grade?
I believe one of the teachers at Volts.
Yeah, it's cool.
Is there,
I never heard of
is there
that.
information going out?
But we just need to get approval first. and
Oh,
then-
I see, okay, okay. But there is something in the,
Yeah.
in the, okay.
I could make a tremendous contribution for my wife's shoe closet.
Yeah.
You better get approval of that first. I would
I just
hold
want
off
to
on
look
that
at
comment. I would hold off on that comment.
She's right up with,
I'm gonna call
what's
her
her name, Mel
now.
from, the Philippines.
Tonight, there's no need to go into executive session, correct? However, what we do need to do, is we need to figure out a time that we would like to do our reorg meeting in January, so we could all get out our calendars. Mr. Connor, do you know if the borough's doing it on the first Tuesday? Is that what they would do?
No. There's this already scheduled, it's for Sunday night, so you can do it as needed. The borough's reorg is on Sunday night.
On Sunday the 3rd?
Yes.
So they're gonna have the meeting on Sunday night as well?
No,
No.
there's another meeting.
So then if we wanted to do it on that
Because they always
Tuesday,
tell everybody to leave after reorg, and nobody ever sits through the meeting, so they broke up, they're doing reorg and then the celebration after, and then the meeting is up.
so I was looking to do, Tuesday, the 6th. I was gonna see if we could do it a little earlier though, like around 5, so we didn't have to.
Does that work?
I don't know
Is it
about
working?
Pam's work schedule and maybe Amy's as well. I don't know whether that. I know sometimes Connie can't get out until after 6, so.
See if there's I think there's a key.
On what day?
Tuesday the 6th.
Could you let us know that whole week, Mr. Wayne, please?
got it.
I think they're like Tuesday, Thursday, that week, something that's supposed to be.
We'll have to maybe stick to Wednesday then. I was trying to not take off of work.
See where the game is.
Yeah, well, that's what, just to make sure.
On Wednesday the 6th?
There's the 6th, it's
No,
Tuesday
No,
the 6th,
Tuesday.
Wednesday would be the 7th.
because we would need to let Joe know as soon as possible.
I prefer the 6th, I have something a little more major on the 7th.
Okay. So you prefer the
I prefer
6th?
the 6th, but if,
So even if we have to do it a little later?
I can do the 7th, I might be a little late.
I work on Tuesdays, so I would have to see if I can get.
How about Thursday?
Just
How
too
about-
bad we can try it.
Thursday's fine. Naomi, what's your week look
Thursday's
like?
better for me.
Thursday's better?
We'll take a look at that. Real quick, another thing we have to add. The cheerleaders would like to sell some items during the games, like we did similar to the hockey this year. So we'd just like to add something to make a motion to approve, the cheerleading coach.
Tuesday the 6th, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Tuesday the 6th is the actual council meeting at 7.
So then we'll go to Thursday.
The reorg is Sunday, Tuesday. is the
We'll
meeting.
just check Thursday's basketball schedule. For our basketball mom.
It's
PTA meeting.
council meetings,
We'll be out by then.
and that's the 6th.
No,
No, we're gonna try and do it
yeah,
earlier.
Tuesday the
so-
6th at 7.
Right, or you'll get bumped. Mr. Wink, what you got for me?
Inside Dr. McCarron, I have a paper calendar. January 9th is a Friday game at Stratford. Other than
There's
that,
nothing
week is
that whole
open.
week, so
Nothing.
that would, whatever then. I mean, I won't be Thursday, but that doesn't matter.
You can't do Thursdays
I
either?
work Thursday. Or Monday, Thursday.
What night's your go night? Wednesday?
I'm not worried about myself, I'll take off, I'm just trying not to. I'm trying not to take off Twilight, but I will if I have to.
Why would you take it? Just have it whenever you're,
What about Monday?
I work Monday. Doesn't matter, do it, I'm the only one that works nights, so do it.
The 8th works better for you?
Thursday, she said Thursday.
Thursday, all right.
The 8th is
The
better.
8th would be better for me.
Can you be here at 5 o'clock?
Oh, no, I'm sorry, I work till 6 Thursday.
So you wanna do it later, Sunday, 7 o'clock meeting on Thursday?
because I'm more comfortable with it being later because of Patty.
Yeah,
So-
he rushes to try to get here.
So why don't we say 7 PM on
On the 7th?
Thursday the 8th?
Thursday or Wednesday? Which one are we doing? Thursday?
No, Thursday works better for most people. So Thursday the 8th
7 PM. Okay.
for our reorg.
Check.
Yes. That's fine. Right. Thursday the 8th.
What time did you do? What time, Sam?
7 PM. Regular time, so that way we can give Patty, fair to Patty. Nothing else in the,
Just very quickly, under finance, your copies on your iPads, I know that, Ms. Spalding had said 1 through 12, and somebody questioned that. If you look at your copy, there are 2 number 5s, which we had caught. So on the printed agenda, it's fixed, which is why it's 1 through 12. So there's nothing that's missing, just under finance, there were 2 number 5s, so I
are
thought.
we gonna add number 13 there though for the cheerleaders?
It'll then go to 13 for the cheerleaders.
So I'm gonna add 13 for the cheerleaders. And this is the wording that you're gonna do.
Under finance?
Yes. The cheerleaders to sell concession stand, Coach DeJean.
So we won't make that a separate motion?
No need to
Simply
make
just
that a
move up to
separate
13.
motion, correct?
Yes. As long as everyone's aware of what they're voting on.
Yes, they're all aware.
And it'll reflect in the minutes.
So you can have this back then.
Perfect.
Guessing the snacks are the same.
Because that way you'll be able to try it when you're selling it.
Okay.
Pretzels, waters.
Okay.
Everything that makes Butch cringe.
Although after school hours, they're allowed to sell other things. as well.
No, because of what enters the
It's
gym.
after school hours, you're allowed to sell candy, cupcakes,
But
you're
they're
allowed to do
doing
all
it
that.
in conjunction with what should be in the gym, I think, is what they're doing, to make sure that Gatorade and stuff doesn't come in and stain it. So water, soft pretzels and stuff like that.
Yep. I don't
Not
feel
harmful.
like we should limit.
Well,
That's the problem with it.
Yeah, well, I
We're starting
remember
problems with
under my
people
old,
at night
under
when
my
we
old
get
title,
they shouldn't bring it.
we
As
got
far as
billed a
like
lot of
coffee
money for the
and
monster that ate a hole in the gym floor.
And that's being taken care of? Like people who come in at nights and the weekends and aren't following our rules, they're
trying.
being made aware of that?
Yeah, they are aware of that, yes.
Okay.
But Butch unfortunately can't sit out front of the door 24 hours.
Come on, Butch, why not?
Rules are made to be broken, that's how people.
Yeah, is that what they said? You know, my son and husband are wrestling a couple nights a week, I don't have anything to do, so I can come. And it won't happen
Just not
again.
Wednesday.
As long as you wear that hat, it'll be perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all right. I need a motion, any other questions for the work session before we,
Yes, I have one.
Okay, go
It's for our reorganization meeting.
Okay.
And will be, our new board members will be coming on board.
yes,
We need to update our Runnemede board members handbook. The board goals and action plans are not the 14-15 school year, the 13-14. I think that we kind of followed using just almost the same wording, but we need to change it to 2014-15 on those 3 pages so that it's current for the new board members.
thank you, Mr. Buck. Anything else? I need a motion to adjourn the work session. Motion to adjourn. Motion made by Naomi,
Second.
seconded by Patty. All in favor?